All right, so this is DR270. This is a video on how to scale, and this is what I'm going to call the ground plan video. And we're going to look at something you're going to use in both for Project 4 and Project 5, and that's we're going to learn how to scale objects with tape measure tool in order to make sure everything is to scale when we start putting different objects together. I'm also going to show you in this particular video how to make a platform. So let's start with importing a drawing. So you're going to go to File, Import, and I'm going to go to the file I have on my desktop. Now you can import other Sketchup files into your current Sketchup file, but one of the things you can also do is import JPEG images, or you can import a slew of other things, but generally when we're going to do this is with JPEG images. So I've taken that ground plan that we have of the entire stage, that kind of footprint of the bottom image of the stage where all the walls sit, and I've made it into a JPEG for you. So you're going to go ahead and import that and click the open button. Now the reason that we have to import it and make it to scale is that it's really going to be, you saw when I imported it, it kind of wanted to go vertical like a wall, and I orbited so that it'll go like a floor. See, this would want to create a wall. Like if I was importing an elevation or something like that, I could draw the wall of something in SketchUp, but instead I want to make sure this is on the floor because it's a footprint. But it's very difficult to tell how big it is. So if I just put it in here and then grab my person, click the move tool and set them on top, you'll see she's much bigger than this room is. And her foot does not fit, well in this image it fits on a chair, but that chair should be much bigger. So how do we alter this? Well, we use the tape measure tool. So I'm going to grab the tape measure tool and I'm going to zoom in to something that I know what it is, which I have lots of choices on this actually, because I can use where I can read that that's 8 feet or 20 feet, or I can use something I know of how big it is, like this bookshelf I know is 4 feet and a 4 foot flat because we've already made it, or this fireplace. And for instance, I know that this fireplace is 5 foot 8 inches. Actually, I'm not so sure about that anymore. So I know that this one's 4 feet. Let's go with that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right in the corner here. I'm going to click right in the corner here. And SketchUp is telling me that length that I just measured is 1 foot 11 inches and 11/16. But instead I'm going to tell it, no, really SketchUp, it's actually 4 feet. And I'm just going to type 4 feet, hit enter. And SketchUp is going to ask me, do you really want to resize this model? And I'm going to tell it yes. Now, this right here is telling you that other components won't be resized. So if I loaded it from an external file, if I went import SketchUp and loaded it in here, it's not going to resize. So some components you download from the Google warehouse aren't going to redefine themselves if you try and scale them. So you may need to explode them and make them into base geometry so that you can change them. Also, it resizes the entire model, not just the item that you're selecting, because SketchUp can't tell the difference between one item and the entire file. So you need to make sure you only have something you want to resize in this model and only that one thing. So click yes, and now our thing is the right size. And as you can see, our person fits much more realistically on that chair than they did before. So I'm going to grab them, put them back in the corner, put her back in the corner so she's not in our way. And now we have a ground plan. Now the next step is to make a platform. And I just want to make sure you guys are aware that this big shape right here is a platform. You can see it if you look in the 3-dimensional actual model that's built in the classroom, and you would know if you could read drafting that this X means that it is a platform. So we can make this platform in a number of ways. We can grab a pencil tool and just trace it. The other thing we want to do is probably go ahead and make sure it's round numbers. So I'll bring it all the way out here to 20 feet, bring it all the way down here to 8 feet, bring it out here, go ahead and trace all that all the way around. Now you have an item. I'm going to go ahead and grab this and move it back until it matches. I'm going to do the same over here. So the clicking got a little bit difficult to do. This is also one of those examples of I made a little bit of a mistake, and so I should probably just redo it. I should probably just delete this. And yeah, there's a lot of excess geometry in there that I don't want. So I'm just going to go ahead and retrace all of this. And instead of typing in what I want, I'm just going to make sure that my lines are red and green where they need to be red and green. Just be very careful that I click in the right spot. So that I get the exact traced outline that I want. Okay, that's much better. So now that I have that, I'm gonna pull this down in this direction. And I know that those steps are 8 inches because they said they were 8 inches. So this is going to be 16 inches down for the platform. And then I'm going to pull this down the same amount. Excuse me. And I'm going to pull the step down another 8. Negative 8 inches. Whoops. It was going in the negative direction already. So I'm going to pull it down to here. And I'm going to tell it to be 8 inches. And now if I were to, I'm going to go ahead and hide my floor plan. Hide, so you can't see it. So now you can see just my platforms there. I'm going to grab the line tool and I'm going to cover one of those sides again so that the platform is closed. And what this allows me to do is I can still have view hidden geometry, selection tool, select that hidden thing that I just hid, right click and unhide it. So I can still see that my ground plane is still there and it's still in the exact same place, and I can still use it for reference when I want to put my walls on this platform, but I don't have to worry about it being in the way when I don't want it to. I can go ahead and hide it and then just look at my model. I'm going to put all the walls on this platform next, and then I'm actually going to hide this surface in order to do that so that I can see my footprint. Place all these items on the platform first, and then unhide my platform and move my ground plan down in order to place all these walls on the stage floor correctly. We'll do that in another video, but for now you have made a platform and you have successfully scaled this object.